Hello, Michigan Wolverine fans. Hello, YouTube subscribers, and hello, Facebook. This is Harry Bryant making an impromptu video. Um, we just received news that Jim Harbaugh is not going to fight the Big Ten's punishment, or they're suspending him for 3 games. My thoughts on this is this. I think Jim Harbaugh didn't want to be a distraction anymore to the team, because he felt that the longer he fight this thing, it's just going to bring more unnecessary distractions to the locker room. It's just going to be detrimental to the team. And I really think that Jim Harbaugh has enough confidence in Coach Jerome Moore to make the right calls during his absence. I think this is Jim Harbaugh's way of endorsing Coach Jerome Moore as the next head coach of the University of Michigan football team. I really think that Jim Harbaugh, this is his last year, this is his last rodeo as far as being with the Wolverines, and I think that he's going to end up leaving the University of Michigan, and he's definitely going to go back to the National Football League. And I've been hearing reports that he might end up being the Bears' next head coach, or he might be with the Raiders, or he might be with the Colts. But I tell you what, Jim Harbaugh's going to have options if he decides to leave Ann Arbor. And I really think that Jim Harbaugh is definitely going to consider leaving and to go back to the NFL. Like I said, he had enough of this whole NCAA situation. He had enough of the media just scrutinizing him, scrutinizing the team for apparently no reason whatsoever. It just seemed like ever since Jim Harbaugh stepped foot to Ann Arbor as head coach, it just seemed like there was a media frenzy. It just seems like that there's just so much biasness against the University of Michigan, and it should be criminal. I think Jim Harbaugh had enough of it. I think he had enough of all of the mess, the chaos that's going on. And I think in part because of the things that he say, as far as he feel that players should get a part of the TV money that's coming in. And I think that really ticked off the NCAA. And I think that's the reason why that they looking at Michigan so hard. But notice they're not doing any other teams like that. But just notice that they only doing that to Michigan. They looking for something that is wrong with Michigan. Because I promise you, if the NCAA put enough energy into looking at other teams like they're looking at the University of Michigan, I promise you they will find a whole lot of cheating going on. They will find a whole lot of worse things going on. But I think just because of Jim Harbaugh is being Jim Harbaugh, and he is not going to bow to the NCAA, he's not going to bow to the Big Ten. They just decided that they had enough, and they wanted to see Jim Harbaugh go back to the NFL. And I think that's the reason why of this witch hunt that's going on with Michigan. But anyway, Jim Harbaugh had enough, and I could tell by his language, by his his language. I think Harbaugh is over it. I think he had enough. And I think he's endorsing Coach Moore to be the next head coach. And that's why I think that Jim Harbaugh is not fighting this thing anymore. But we're going to see what happens. But I tell you what, it's going to be a sweet victory when Coach Moore win these last 2 games, especially the last game of the year against the Suckeyes. And I hope Michigan run the score up on them. And I hope that the Suckeyes team is wearing wristbands, because we don't want to hear them talking about that that we know their signs, and that's the reason why they lost the game. They won't have any excuse. They won't have an out of why they lost the game. They're going to have to accept the fact that Michigan is just better than them. And they're going to have to accept it. I'm going to say this one more thing, and I'm going to end this video. I really think that because of everything that transpired, the way that the Big Ten conspired against Michigan, they were sneaky. They wanted to see Michigan be derailed as far as having a successful season, I tell you what, Michigan would never forget what happened. And I really think that Michigan is going to end up leaving the Big Ten Conference, because who wants to be around a bunch of snakes? Now, notice the SEC don't do that. And guess what? They don't like each other. But you never see the SEC fight against each other because they know it's about the conference. But it's too bad the Big Ten Conference don't have that same mentality. But, you know, we'll see what happens. So let's just throw our support behind Coach Moore, and let's go out here and let's win this thing. Let's win these last 2 games. Let's do it for Coach Harbaugh, so that way he can come back, he can coach the Big Ten title game. So until then, hail to the Venters, go blue, peace out.